I'm writing this lecture in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, May 2020. I encountered an interesting table on a page in Wikipedia that shows all the confirmed cases of and deaths from coronavirus in Japan. Here's a screenshot of the top part of the table. I thought it would be a great example to walk through how to get there. Now this is just a portion of the table, but it has enough interesting features that I'll just work with this much. Now let's start by looking at the overall structure. At its core, the table has three central columns. 1, the name and flag of the prefecture. 2, the number of cases in the prefecture. And 3, the number of deaths in the prefecture. Note that a Japanese prefecture is roughly analogous to a U.S. state. There are 23 prefectures in the table fragment we'll be working with. Note that Hokkaido and Tokyo are not exactly prefectures, but it's simplest to include them as such. Now you can tell by looking at it that the table has border collapse style in effect. And all the cells have a simple border, so I'm going to add this style note, TD, border solid black 1 pixel. Note the rightmost two columns are numeric data, so we'll want to align them. So set up a class.num, text align right. And the caption is boldface, so we'll set up a class.bold, font weight bold. So let's begin with this information. So we have a style element and our TD style rules and our .num and .bold classes. And then table style equals border collapse and a caption class equals bold. Cumulative confirmed SARS-CoV-2 infection cases in Japan by prefecture as of 2020-4/30. So that's the end of the caption. Then the data rows, and you can see the prefecture and the number of cases and the number of deaths all the way to the end of the table. And that much displays this way. Although we still have a ways to go, we can tell we're on the right track. The caption is good, and 3 columns of data are good, and the border looks right. Where to go next? I'm thinking a row of columnar title information would help. So I added a row at the top and a style rule for TH elements. So TH will be background color white smoke. Border solid black 1 pixel. And the white smoke was an approximation to the color actually in the original table. And then my first row becomes TH prefecture, TH cases, and TH deaths. And that gives us this. Comparing the two tables, I noticed the numeric fields are flush against the border in my table, but they have some space on the right in the target table. So I adjust the .num style rule, text align right, padding right 3 points. Now 2 things are conspicuously absent here in the prefecture column. The flag for each prefecture, and each prefecture name seems to be a link, and we don't have that here. Well, the flags are small PNG images, and I downloaded them one by one and put them into an images subdirectory. This took a while. The prefecture name links are links to pages in a separate wiki. Since we're just concerned here with the table structure, I bounded each prefecture name with a light blue underline so it looks like a link. And then add the style rule, .link, text decoration underline, color slate blue. And then add span class equals link and end span around each prefecture name. All this took a while. Here's a representative part of the code at this point. So here we see our new row that was the column labels, prefecture, cases, and deaths. And then we'll take a look at the data. The first row of data is just like the others, so we'll get the idea here. We start off with an image of the flag, and then you have to have an alt for image elements, and then the width and height of the image, and then a non-breaking space. And then we span class equals link the prefecture name. And this is what will give it that underlined blue link-like appearance. So we do that for all of the data rows, and it gives us this appearance right now. Now at this point, I think we've done as much as we can with the inner core of the table. Now to implement the outer rows and columns. Let's add a fourth column, which will group the rows by region. The first row is Hokkaido, and it is its own region. Now the next 6 rows belong to the Tohoku region, the next 7 rows belong to the Kanto region, the last 9 rows belong to the Chubu region. So recall we can do this by adding a new TH cell in the column label row and a new TD cell in the first row of each group with the appropriate row span attribute and containing the name of the region for content. So now we're looking at this, and here's our new column label region. And then for Hokkaido, we put col span equals 2, and we have the rest of the information the same. Now for Tohoku, we have row span equals 6, because we're going to cover the next 6 rows. And then we scroll down to the Kanto region, and we have row span equals 7, because it covers 7 rows. And we scroll down to the Chubu region, we add that TD element, and it covers the next 9 rows, and so on, down to the end of the table. And this version yields this, which is indeed closer to our target table. The main things right now, the data cell contents need some padding around them. Hokkaido needs to be slid to the right. We can do this with a text align of right. Now you may have noticed the strange symbol in the header columns of the target table. This is a graphic indicating that you can sort on that column by clicking on the icon. Now we're not doing sorting here. Programming for tables is discussed in the next lesson. But we can add the code for this icon. I had to do some tricky searching to come up with the code, but it is this. svg xmlns equals http://w3w.w3.org/2000/svg, width equals 21, height equals 9, view box equals 00219, path D equals M14.5, 51-4, 4-4-4 ZM0-11-4-4-4z, and SVG. So that can be inserted as in the appropriate TH record, as is. So for this pass, I'll be doing this. Add padding for the TD elements, create a new style rule for the cell containing Hokkaido, and then add a class equals for this style rule in the Hokkaido TD entry. And then adding the code for the sort icon in the header columns. So by now, the style element looks like this. And you see I've added the padding for the TD just to give it some space. And there's the right align style rule for Hokkaido's cell. And then the essence of the table is here. Here's the table and the caption. Now the header row, you see I've included the definition for the sort icon. Then go down and we see for Hokkaido, col span equals 2, class equals right, so it's shifted to the right, and the result displays this way. So we see Hokkaido to the right, a little more room around the TD cells, and the icons in the headers. Looking very close. Now, we need to add the leftmost row grouping by island. Japan is an island nation. Now, it turns out for the small subset of the larger table we're working with, there's only 2 of the islands included. The first is Hokkaido, which is an island, a region, and a prefecture. And the second is Honshu, the main island. So, again, add a new TH cell in the header row, then change the row span for the Hokkaido cell to be 3, and then add a new TD element with a row span of 22 in the first row after the Hokkaido row. In other words, everything else stays the same. So here we are. We've added the new cell for the island column header. And then down below here in Hokkaido, we have call span equals 3 now. And the next row, we begin with a row span and name the island. And this result looks like this. Oh, just one more piece to put in and we're done. We need to add the very top row that gives the summary for the whole country. A new row with 3 TH elements. First, the title national, spanning 3 columns. Second, the total number of cases. And 3, the total number of deaths. That is, and here's our new row. And that's all. We now have this, which is what we're trying to get to. So I hope this demonstration gives you ideas on how to construct complex tables. Coming up, how to program for tables using JavaScript and the DOM. See you there.